Preaching on the yeah.
Bow! What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the one and only Goal Line Goons live on Big Guy Fantasy Sports Network. Yo, Taco, how you feeling? Yo, I'm RumboyzRobbie. Really quick. Let me do that proper. Hold on, rewind. I'm RumboyzRobbie. This is my co-host, TDS Taco. Bow!
I'm feeling good, feeling great. Feeling good. How are you, Rob?
Feeling good, feeling great. Feeling good, feeling great. How are you? Yo, I'm ready to get to the money. Listen, I have been promoting like one of my own personal like side things like that y'all been seeing me shout out. Y'all been seeing like bag season in all caps. Y'all been seeing hashtag bag season. Bag season is forever. Bag season is infinite. But for a lot of like the fantasy football community, we are so close to bag season. So I purposely named tonight's episode One Championship at a Time. One championship at a time, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Goal Line Goons. We are here to help you win one championship, one goal at a time. Whether you're in multiple leagues, you're in one league, Jenkins and Accounting, I'm talking to you. The guy in their home league that didn't think that they were going to make it, that is on the precipice of touching that coveted home league pot. I'm talking to you, baby. Yo, Taco, let's get into tonight's show. You already know how we got to do this, though, man. I know that this is a Rumboyz production because technically I am producing and directing. I feel like we gotta crack this one off Rumboy style, right?
Hey. I'm down for the drinks.
Let's go.
Let's just put it like this, man. That's what got me like hyped and
we outside. We outside. Hey, we outside.
I just gotta say, it feels great when you record ones that make it far. Like, it's okay when you make it, but when you record the whole thing, so you see the process as it goes through, and then you see the results, that's like Babe Ruth. That's a Babe Ruth right there.
Process and results. Ayo, big guy fantasy sports shit, big Rumboyz shit. Cheers to me, cheers to you. Big Guy Fantasy Sports, what it do. Rumboyz Fantasy Network, what it do. Bow! Let's go ahead. Let's get into it. Taco. Last night, have you seen the movie Boondock Saints?
Oh, of course. All-time classic.
I'm going to go full William Dafoe on this moment. Last night, there was a firefight. How do you feel about last night's game? How do you feel about there's a lot of chatter about bench Gino for Horsecock Lock, who's a rum boy. What are our thoughts? Phillies lost 3 in a row. Talk to me.
First and foremost,
what's good? Daniel, what's good?
It's red alert for anyone with the Philadelphia defense. I know that we were looking at them as a possible streaming option in the next couple of weeks as their schedule looks a little soft for the Giants and the Cardinals. I'm just not trusting it. I'm just not trusting it right now with the Eagles defense first and foremost. I definitely am going to make that pivot if I can to another direction. I already did that in another league. I went to the Broncos. Broncos defense, even though they lost the other game, I still like what they're doing with defense.
PS2 is something serious. PS2 is something serious.
Bro, the deflections that he makes when receivers are trying to get that ball is just like, whoa. And
Time for a corner in PFF.
and they've been on a tear as of late, and I'm buying into that more than I'm buying into the Eagles versus the Giants this week. Which coming into it, we thought backup quarterback for the Giants, that's going to be a streaming delight. Like that's the kind of guy that people have been stashing for a couple of weeks, thinking that you might get something, and you watch the Eagles play, and you're like, oh no. That's first and foremost. Secondly, JSN, baby, that touchdown grab at the end moved me from out of best ball playoffs into a best ball playoffs. So I am hyped about that. He was someone that I mentioned in the last couple of weeks as they're starting to get him more involved. He's starting to look more acclimated. Like we had said earlier, this is the time of the season where now you start to see some of the things change as players have spent more time in this in the scheme and the system, and injuries happen, and so many other things happen. And right now, it's looking like we're starting to see an emergence at a JSN. I don't know how confidently in two wide receiver sets I feel comfortable playing him in. But when you have those three wide receivers, two flex kind of leads, I think now he's really playing himself into that position of he might be viable. Lockett just doesn't seem like he has the bandwidth that he used to have, or the scheme is just not favoring him as much as it used to be. But that's the other observation I really have here is that JSN might be one of those buzzy guys at the end of the season who might be able to pull some things off for a couple of teams where you didn't have him before, and now you got a new weapon.
I like that. I'm going to touch on that here in just a second. I'm just going to answer George Plays 01's question really fast. It is Denver. They are going up against New England. Bailey Zappi.
Although Zappi has been playing better.
Yeah, Zappi is going to eventually look like Zappi at some point. If he does at any given point, it will be against Denver. Personally, that's just something that I am subscribing to. It is a home game for Denver. We knew coming into Denver's road stretch that was already going to be rough for them. Denver at home is pretty much a deadlock for the most part. Give me the Broncos defense. Give me the Broncos at home. Give me the Broncos at home in every fucking aspect possible, fantasy and gambling. I'm all in. In regards to should you drop the Chiefs defense, I don't think that it's necessarily a drop because as more so as that is a temperature check. You're going to temperature check in, check out, just because that over the course of the whole season, these two defenses are neck and neck in terms of fantasy football. You're talking about the top 13. You're talking about defense 13 in Denver and defense 14 in the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think that you should be dropping either or. If you're dropping, if you're not trying to roster, I don't think there's any reason why you would drop two or why you would roster two defenses. The Chiefs have the Raiders. The Raiders are not going to do what they did against the Chargers against the Chiefs. But also at the same time, Denver is going to show up and show out against New England. I wholeheartedly believe both of those takes, both of those theories. You're in a sticky situation because you probably don't want someone else to grab the other. But defense is such a low volatility position that even if you leave Denver out there, probably the competition at this point in the game doesn't go out and grab them because they're probably going to lay to their loyals from a psychology standpoint. So, I mean, if you're against the competition and you worry, pull two, roster two. If the competition if the competition's not that serious and they've been neglecting it, then you can count on them to probably continue to neglect it.
And I'll say this. Another team that I find sneaky, and I'm going to give you multiple reasons why they could actually be pretty relevant this week, is the Indianapolis Colts defense. One, they're going to be facing Atlanta, who's switching back to Heineke. And let's face it, these quarterbacks haven't done much. Like Heineke didn't look great when he took over the job. In standard defensive
But Heineke still wasn't bad, and at least you know that Heineke could get the job done.
But also in standard
We're not
scoring
there yet.
defensive
We're not
leagues,
there yet. So we
in
don't need to
standard
go
scoring
in.
defensive leagues, Indianapolis Colts had 26, 16, 11, 18, 7, 14. They have been hot. They just played Pittsburgh.
The Colts are a great defense. The Colts are a fucking great defense.
Yeah, they're playing Atlanta this weekend, and with that backup quarterback, I know what you're saying about Heineke showing he could do it, but with the Colts defense playing the way it's been playing, I think that's another sneaky defensive play that if you have available, might be interesting. And they have the Raiders next week as well.
Hold on. If you have the other two options between Chiefs and Denver, you're probably rocking with those two, just because of also at the point of the season is where teams like to try and show up unexpectedly. And
I wouldn't play Denver over them. No, -2 last game, 14-5, 16, 8, 9, 17. They are getting New England. New England didn't look that terrible versus the Kansas City defense, which is pretty good.
Colts' top 3 defense.
Yeah.
Heading into the playoffs, you're probably not going to be able to get them.
I mean, right now they are 46% rostered.
44% owned, 34. I had them in a league that, well, I was in the playoff hunt for, but my whole team decided to just, we know how that goes.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting one. If it's available, I think that's probably my top grab.
If it's available, it's got to be available.
The cool to grab.
But to George's question, I don't think that they're available because I'm pretty sure he would have brought that up.
I agree. Denver would be the one that I take over the Colts, but if they're there, that's where.
Yeah, I don't think that if they were available, I'm pretty sure if George saw a top 3 defense there, he would have.
Now, just to refresh my memory, the Chiefs were missing a cornerback, right?
A what?
A cornerback, one of the DBs.
Chiefs are banged up in a lot of different places. The thing with the
Chiefs, if their guys are back, it's a little different too.
The Chiefs always come in, they show up, and they show out defensively. They are banged up. The opportunities that a Patrick Surtain creates for you defensively just makes it to where Denver, to me, against New England is just so. I want every piece of that. I want every. Denver might be even to the point to where like I might even play Denver in DFS this week.
I'm seeing here a little snowflake. Is it supposed to be snowy over there? Is there a weather chance in this game as well?
I mean it was 65 today, 59 tomorrow, 58. We dropped to the 50s. Sunday, we're going to probably get snow.
Jesus Christ. Holy shit. 50 snow.
Bro, but then guess what? Then it's going to be 50. So Colorado is like that. So like everyone that thinks that like it just snows in Colorado, you're dumb as shit.
Well, we don't know the area. Always sees the movies, you know?
Yeah, everyone watches South Park and they're like, that's what Colorado's like. And I'm like, y'all are fucking idiots. That's a cartoon. Casa Bonita.
That's a real thing.
It's not. It's literally.
Did they buy it? They're making it a real thing. These guys are branding experts.
I do want to take an opportunity to talk about. We've been on this very long-standing quarterback carousel conversation for the last couple of weeks. And I think that given some of the things that have happened already today, that have happened over the weekend, it's definitely something to talk about. Because roster movement and roster construction from a game theory standpoint is going to be so serious right now. Taylor Heineke is now in play. I know a lot of people. What is good? Drop the mic, FF. I know a lot of people with Desmond Ridder heading into championships Because let's face it, that's like you don't have a whole lot of starting QBs that were left. And now they may not even have that option. You and I, in a best ball, competing for fucking $3 million for all the pocket watchers out there, have Sam Howell, who just got fucking benched.
Ay, Dios mío. Ay, Dios mío.
It's sounding like it's now going to be Mason Rudolph in place of Kenny Pickett.
Wait, what?
What the fuck?
What?
What do we have going on? Mike, I absolutely agree with this. So how do we want to work our way through this? Do we want to go Hal, Heineke? Do we want to go from the Washington to the former Washington and then into Pitt? You're about to start tilting, so I feel like I should just leave this because you're about to fucking shit yourself. Do you have your pamper on?
No, I don't.
Oh my gosh, someone clip this, please. Everything that we just said there. Look, I think that Hal retains his starting job. There was no reason to bench Hal. I love that Jonathan Allen came out today. Granted, Jonathan Allen on the defensive side of the ball said, okay, maybe homie just went through some rookie growing pains throughout the last couple weeks. Hal was still a top 10 QB. I don't give a fuck. Rookie growing pains, still a top 10 QB. There is no reason. Absolutely. Mike, I was going to get to that part when I get to that part of my take. There is no reason that they should have benched Hal during that game. This is a classic Marvin Lewis, Lovie Smith. Mike and I talked about this on Monday Night Football over on the Rumboyz channel on YouTube and on Twitch, which you guys can check out. We talked about this last night. This is a classic coach trying to sabotage the organization and the system type of thing. Ron Rivera absolutely is a dumbass. To Leaf's comment there. You shouldn't be fucking with the rookie quarterback's confidence or his stride or his pace. Win or lose that game, motherfucker, we were going to lose anyways. Let that man learn his lesson by living and dying on his sword like he's done all fucking season for those men and even for your little stupid ass. Versus the latter of benching him and being like, wait, like, maybe am I not fit? Or like, there was no need for it. And I doubt that was something that the organization wanted to see, especially after seeing that young man take sack after sack after sack after sack throughout the duration of the season. Growing pains are definitely a part of the process. To me, the benching of Sam Howell showed more weaknesses in Ron Rivera. We already announced before that game that we were going to release him at the end of the season. He was going to be relieved of his coaching duties. Pack your bags, pack a box, get the fuck out of the building duties. You can keep your whistle. That showed even more reason why any other team should not grab Ron Rivera, at least a year or two from now. Let the man be removed from the game, get some rest, chill, relax. It's been a stressful couple of years, especially having to deal with Dan Schneider. I think Sam Howell still starts this week. I think you could still rely on Sam Howell for fantasy. I think that probably pissed Sam Howell off that he did that. Jacoby Brissett's not better than Sam Howell in any fucking universe. And that we know for a fact. The You switch the quarterback after halftime, and that defense had no film on that quarterback in that system. That's the only thing that you get credit for. That's the only thing you get credence for. You did not help close the spread. That wasn't you. EB was still calling the same plays regardless. It was still going to classic Washington head coach like Jay Gruden trying to take credit on the fucking group project when it was McVay and LaFleur and all those other guys that were fucking doing the work. EB, it's your turn. It's your team. Take over. As for the Atlanta portion and the Steelers portion, Heineke, I like as a good fill-in this week. I like it if you want to play that defensive side of in 2 QB, making sure that your opponent cannot have that QB. I love the different angles that you get to play with it down the stretch. I'm with it. I'm all in on the Heineke experiment. I don't like – I'm praying that it is going to be announced later in the week that Kenny Pickett is back because I don't like Mason Rudolph at quarterback. I feel like that if you were going to put Mason Rudolph in, then you still just fucking play Mitch because you're going to get the same results. Yes, absolutely. Ron Rivera to the Sharks. I'm pushing you off the plane, feeding to the Sharks. Arthur Smith, absolute bumbo clap. Taco.
I mean, I think that I'm hoping that Kenny Pickett is able to play. I know there's an outside chance. Tomlin is saying, he's not ruling him out, basically. He had a really good day of rehab recently. His availability is not out of the question. And all I'm praying for is, the Pittsburgh Steelers at 7-7 in a must-win game versus the Cincinnati Bengals say, Kenny Pickett, you come out here and help us out. That is what I'm praying for. I am full tilt there. I'm still holding out that hope. Something deep down in me says that maybe it's going to happen, but we're going to have to see. I think Sam Howell, you definitely are more tuned to what's going on in Washington. And I was asking you to ask you questions about this earlier. So, I'm riding on the Sam Howell train. I'm a little nervous in season long, but at the end of the day, he's the horse that got me there. So it's going to be very hard for me to just randomly find a guy that's going to be more confidently played.
And that's what's fucked up about it is we all, whether you're a fan of the team or not, we all as viewers of football know what Sam Howell has done for that team and that organization and done for football and has done for our fantasy teams and done for even gambling, whatever we know. I'm sorry, but when I can correlate the amount of money that I've won off of a fucking quarterback, and that quarterback is also putting up positive ROI on their own, and then you randomly choose it. The kid didn't. The Ron Rivera benching thing is you act like as if the kid fell off a fucking cliff, and that never happened.
One thing I could say is maybe it was he was struggling. He wasn't getting it going, and you're trying to light a fire up in him and say, you know what, kid, nothing's given to you. You're still going to have to earn this. You still got to play better. And hopefully it gives him the fire he needs to light up the Jets this week.
You don't do it in that manner. You don't do it in that way. No other team does that. No other team does that. Unless it is a situation where a coach is bitter and they are sour over what the inevitable outcome is going to be.
Which is usually the case.
We've seen this. We've seen this where coaches get bitter and they're like, well, you know what? Fuck it. Like, I'm going to screw you over before you can screw me. Or I'm going to get the last laughs. Like, somehow, like, we see this all the time.
Yep.
We have 32 teams and we have multiple different examples of this. And that's what I think the Sam Howell thing comes down to. The Desmond Ridder thing, I think that Atlanta just, I don't know. I don't know what that is. Mason Rudolph makes sense. He's been around that whole team longer, knows the system. As a coach, you're hoping that he can go out and at least produce a win. You're hoping that Kenny Pickett clears protocols this week for that ankle and is good to go.
Yeah.
If I were to rank the volatility of these situations, I think that there is not much volatility in the Washington situation. I think that Sam Howell starts this week.
Hopefully, he light it up as well.
I would maybe then roll with a Mason Rudolph in a 2 QB format. All these situations I'm talking about 2 QB, but Sam Howell's a single QB format type player at this point in the season. Sam Howell starts. I would then go Mason Rudolph. Then I would go Heineke. But I could easily see Heineke outperforming Rudolph because whether it was Carolina, Washington, and now Atlanta, Heineke's been competent.
But the question is on this shorter turn, you're gonna have like 1 week with it, and now you're playing against the hot defense with the Colts. It could be an interesting.
The red nose reindeer.
I am praying. And if he sits out, and this is me tilting going hard. I need them Sam Howell to ball out versus the Jets. if Kenny Pickett's not coming back in, give me Sam Howell. Because I think one of those two guys, I mean, when you think about it, they should. I mean, Cincinnati's not really a vaunted pass defense. The Jets defense just been getting lit up lately. These guys are in some opportunities for, making some noise, especially in these DFS settings.
Yeah, I mean, but also, I mean, just from like a playoff standpoint, I mean, I know that quarterback is thin. I know that quarterback's not impressive. In some circles, despite record, even though I say the gameplay is completely different, people are trying to compare Trevor Lawrence to Daniel Jones. That whole stat comparison over the first 2 seasons is a fucking crazy because Lawrence was hurt a good portion of those games. It's like the two things don't mix, they don't go together. But anyways, one of the things that I want to get into here, what is one of your biggest elements heading into championship grind mode? Like when you look at your rosters that are fighting for a championship, no roster that's getting ready to fight for a Super Bowl right now is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, you know how like when we do UFC analysis or even NFL analysis, we're like, no person at this point in the season is 100% healthy.
Mm-hmm.
No analyst right now is like, after everything we've been through over the course of now leading up to 16 weeks, none of us so much has changed from then to now.
I mean, just even think of last week. You had Tyreek Hill, Nico Collins, Keenan Allen, Chris Olave. Like, how many of these guys were out? And then you had guys like Bijan Robinson.
Hold on.
And Saquon Barkley throwing up.
In a second. I just want to take this because he said, as soon as he said Super Bowl week for me, pick 1 running back, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex, full PPR. Super Bowl week for me: Bijan, Eckler, Singletary, Mixon, Cup, Ayuk, Higgins, Flowers. Okay, so one running back. We only get one running back, but we do get two flexes here, Taco. So we can maybe, you know what I mean? The two receivers.
I hate to say this, but there's no way you can bench Bijan Robinson. You just can't do it. He's the RB13 on the season. I understand what's happened and what's been.
I'm not hanging my hat on Eckler. Eckler's not going to get the start for me. It's between Bijan and Mixon for me. And with CJ, because with CJ Stroud not being in this week, that news dropped right before we actually got on air. With it not being Stroud, I guess I do see a formula where they rely heavily on the run game. I don't know. I feel very iffy. Just about the whole situation with Houston right now.
Oh, they're playing Cleveland.
Like Case Keenum doesn't make me happy right now. I'm not thrilled to start Case Keenum. So if I'm not thrilled to start Case Keenum, am I that thrilled about Singletary? Devin Singletary, RB31. He did have 170 last week off of 30 touches. He had a beastly week.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, since week 10, he's had one game under 12 points, 12.5 points.
But he's not getting you those 20 like week 10 and 11, he got you those 20-point weeks back to back. You're kind of betting on that same juju again.
But think about it. In week 14, he got you 12, and last week
he has to play Cleveland. I'm not trusting that.
Now that is where I agree with you. The volume there is going to be the only thing that's in his favor. The matchup really isn't. But when you look at some of the other guys, it's like probably you would lean more toward, like, definitely Bijan would be the running back.
Bijan's definitely the running back.
Wide receivers pretty easy. It's Cup, Ayuk, Higgins. You ride in with your big horses. Then the question comes down to, who do you feel more comfortable with? Flowers, Eckler, Singletary, Mixon. The matchup for Eckler is versus Buffalo. Not really.
I would play Mixon. I would play Mixon over Flowers.
I'm leaning that way as well on Mixon, just because he's getting a huge volume.
Mixon would make up my second flex. Mixon would make up my second flex.
Yeah, I'm actually leaning in that direction as well. And just to pull up his stats really quick, Joe Mixon right now is RB6, and in the last 3 games, 19, 21, and 10 carries, but he does have a touchdown in each of these games. So Bijan, has at least 3 catches.
It'd be Bijan. For me, I don't feel like I'm perfectly fine with going Cup, Higgins, Flowers, but you could go Cup, Ayuk, Higgins, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I love the Cup, Higgins, Flowers personally.
Last week though,
that
killed last week. Flowers has been a little bit inconsistent as of late, especially with Likely and Odell seemingly taking
getting their shares. I still give me the Cup, Higgins, Flowers. I don't mind the Cup, Ayuk, Higgins though.
Right now I think Higgins has moved his way back up to what we thought he could be. Which is going to be very interesting because a lot of teams that drafted Higgins were probably getting beat up. But if you have him now, you might be
prospering right now. Yeah. And then obviously it's going to be mixing in that second flex. I'm not starting either Eckler or Singletary. So it can be mixed in whatever other wide receiver in that flex.
I would say you could debate maybe Ayuk or Eckler depending on if you feel spicy and how much you believe in that.
I don't care about Eckler. I'm good on Eckler. I'm good on Eckler. Yo made second round of playoffs in both my leagues. Got a bunch of questions. No rush to answer. All full PPR. Number one, Flacco at Houston. Stroud, if he plays, Stroud's not playing. It's not looking like Stroud's going to play. Just from what we'll see. That's also Cleveland. Houston needs Stroud to beat Cleveland. That's going to be a tough one. That is seriously going to be a tough one, Dylan. If Stroud is playing, I'm dying on the sword of Stroud. If not, you're automatically going to Flacco. It doesn't matter what your other options are. I like DeVito, but no. Start two at running back: Mixon, Cook, Pollard.
I take the first two.
What's up?
I take the first two, Mixon and Cook. I mean, what the Buffalo Bills been doing all
there's
around.
No question. Yeah. The Chargers are toast. Pittsburgh, we don't know what the fuck. Like Pittsburgh's probably closer to going underneath. This could be this. I think that this is the season that Tomlin stays under 500.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think, but Joe Mixon is RB6 on the season. So
yeah, I'm going Mixon. I'm going Cook. Pollard versus Miami. I could see Dallas going heads up against Miami again. Dak in December. We know how it gets towards for Dak in January. I'm riding that narrative. Give me Mixon, give me Cook for your two running backs. Now, the one flex is where maybe we could still talk about Pollard. Yep. We do have Reed going against Carolina, which is a beautiful matchup. And likely versus San Fran.
And he's been hot. They've both been hot. Pollard has been like hit or miss. Where I get volume. The volume side is on Pollard, but these other two guys have been hot. And honestly, I'm probably leaning Reed. Just because, I feel like that wide receiver position is just a little bit more of the traditional playmaker role than the tight end. But Isaiah Likely has been a consistent playmaker. He's getting touchdowns, he's getting yards, he's getting catches. It's going to be very hard to decide that. To me,
I feel like Likely is in my tight end position, and then what I flex is between Reed and Pollard.
But he said one flex. I'm assuming that for some reason he's not.
Maybe there's not a tight end.
Yeah, so that's weird. But I probably lean Reed there.
Well, hold on. I think this is the same thing, or maybe this is a different league.
Yeah,
I think that's a same thing in League 2. Okay, so then in League 1, this is what we're dealing with. Then
I think we both agree on the defense here, the Broncos.
I would if there's no tight end in this league, and if it's just one flex, if it's a straight up heads up, then Pollard would probably be. I would just be going with all the running backs.
You would take Pollard over Reed in this one? This is Carolina.
Yeah. And that sounds crazy, me being a Reed fanboy, but I'm gonna keep it real.
I've seen this guy's been hot. He's been getting touchdowns. It's not like he's just getting played. He's getting touchdowns, and that's the thing about Pollard. He's been touchdowns allergic.
I want Reed. I could see Miami smacking the fuck out of Dallas. Yeah, no, fuck that. Give me Reed and Likely, bro.
I'm just afraid. Pollard last game had 11 for 50. Imagine if what happened last game happens this game again.
Happens again, and I think that's very much with the. Yeah, give me Reed. Give me Reed.
And there's so many games for Pollard where he's just
Denver versus New England or Green Bay versus Carolina. You're safe either way. Give me Denver.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm leading right now as well.
Same thing in League 2, full PPR as well. Stroud versus Cleveland or Fields versus Arizona. It's Stroud. If Stroud is healthy, I'm playing Stroud. I'm like I said, I'm living and dying on that sword. Fields versus Arizona is definitely tempting, but with Arizona, you never know what Arizona team you're going to get, and that can just be a convoluted thought process. Stroud for me all the way. Start one running back, two receivers, one flex. We're done with Connor, Ford, Singletary for the running backs in this position.
I'm probably going Connor. He just looked good last weekend. He's been the guy.
I feel like I would lean Connor.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like I would lean Connor there.
And then Waddle just had a big game. Let's face it, he's an explosive player. That game versus Dallas, it's either going to be a shootout or a blowout.
Waddle doesn't have a big game if Tyreek comes back. Tyreek will come back.
Yeah, but this is going to be either a shootout or a blowout.
Tyreek is going to try and get as many yards as possible to make up for missing.
I mean, I still see Waddle having a fairly decent game regardless. Like, Tyreek is going to get – like, it's actually better for him if Tyreek plays because Tyreek's going to get the main coverage, which could give him the opportunity for another big game.
Yeah, for me, I'm temperamental on Waddle. Reed again is somehow ending up in this lineup for me.
Oh,
one tight end, one defense. The tight end for me is Cole Kmet all fucking day, all fucking day. On my birthday, your birthday, Jesus' birthday, Easter. And there's not even football played during Easter. Like, I don't care. I'm playing Cole Kmet. Hunter Henry's definitely been getting his looks though, and is productive. And
in the last two games, 3 catches for 40 yards and 2 touchdowns, and the last team 7 catches for 66 yards and a touchdown. Seems like we have a narrative forming that the new quarterback likes his tight end, and that is a change. That's something we have to look at.
I mean, but Hunter Henry's been a great tight end throughout.
No, I know that, but when you look at the way Mac Jones is using him versus the way Zappy's using him, and the trend line, it could be more of a situation where, hey, guess what? Zappy's better at finding him in these situations and is able to get him the ball, and Mac Jones just wasn't, and that's what we're seeing: 3 touchdowns in 2 games.
Mac Jones was never good at football, so
I mean, there's that too, and Hunter Henry is. So now he's like finally a quarterback.
Bro, you are solid with either one of these defenses. I could easily see the Bills putting up more points than the Broncos just because, like, it's the Chargers, it's Easton Stick, it's a bunch of fucking grade 2 receivers.
And they're good.
Yeah, go Bills. Like, go Bills there. And like I said, I'm going Ayuk and Reed.
I would probably let me just see one thing about Ayuk, because Ayuk, like, I know that
he also has Kraft against Carolina at tight end, which I love.
Kraft has been solid. I'm not gonna lie.
I would roll Kmet. Arizona sucks.
Man.
Y'all think T-Law is droppable now? Injuries stacking up on him. His receivers are getting hurt. With Zay messing up his hammy, he'd have Ridley and Ingram. Flacco, Baker is available on waivers.
Man, I hate to say this, but I dropped Ty-Law like 7 weeks ago, and I didn't regret it. Last week, what's shocking to me,
single QB, he was definitely droppable.
Yeah, definitely. Baker was on freaking fire last week. I think he had like 3 touchdowns or something like that.
Tingley also has Fields.
Oh, well, I played Fields there. I mean, it's tough, but again, his rushing upside is just too much.
If you were keeping T-Law for Tampa loves. So y'all know, like, the whole, like, pay the public principle in gambling, and like you guys like understand like that whole principle, right? This is one of those situations where that game theory applies. the public's gonna be high on the Jaguars. Dude, I don't mind you playing Flacco over T-Law. This is a matter of championship or not. I don't think that I at this point in the game, you have to ask, okay, like which sword am I willing to lie on? You know, and I'm willing to lie on that Flacco sword. I'm willing to even lie on that Baker sword over T-Law. And it's not an indictment on T-Law, but like I said earlier in the show, motherfuckers is literally drawing comparisons between him and Daniel Jones throughout their first 2 seasons. The only difference is that T-Law has pieces around him that has helped gotten the job done. I don't mind you playing Flacco. I don't mind you playing Baker. And I think that those are more strategic moves. I think there might be – Flacco has shown us that there might be a safer floor with him. And I get that's off of a couple of weeks of research, but give me that couple of weeks of research in a championship situation versus the latter. Flacco or Browning?
As Cincinnati is facing the Steelers, right?
I don't think that Browning gives a fuck. That's the thing.
Bro,
Like, this is a really good
field. I was loving that.
You got the young, you got the young gun, you got my young bull and Browning. And you got my old head in Flacco.
And
neither of these quarterbacks, both these quarterbacks are playing like they have nothing to lose. Both these quarterbacks are playing like the fucking rent is due.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I hate to say this. I never thought that I'd say this at the beginning of the season. As a matter of fact, I knew that I would never say this at the beginning of the season. This is a good fucking position to be in. I don't think that you can even. You're fine starting either or. Me personally, I lean towards starting Browning. With that said, I don't think that there's a safe scenario of leaving either or out. Like, is it a 2 QB? If it's a 2 QB, you definitely can't let either or be hanging around out there. Like, if it's a 2 QB, it's like you're keeping them both. Like, 1 QB, I feel like I'm leaning Browning.
Fuck it. I think I'm gonna go Flacco.
I'm off waivers. It's off waivers. So okay, so it's another T-Law situation.
Yeah.
Bro, you can drop T-Law for either one of the bros.
Yeah. Now it's don't give a fuck season. You lose, you're out. You can't be fucking around. If you don't want to play T-Law, you gotta drop T-Law.
Adam, Hal's gonna be back. Don't even worry about that. Don't even worry about that. That's Rivera being a little bitch, bro.
Would you start Howell over Flacco or Browning?
Yeah. Because that also plays into your narrative of lighting a fire underneath his ass too. So yeah.
Just kind of like the I hate to say it, but the narrative seems to fit.
Yeah. Like, but if we talk about the grouping of those three, I feel confident starting any one of them. So I know that for the most part, I'm in a positive position. With Adam's situation specifically, without seeing the whole team, I feel like he has less problem. Do you follow me, bro? Hold on. Yo, here's my Twitter. Drop me a DM and drop me a screenshot. Drop me a screenshot of your lineup. And I'll take care of it during after hours. Because like I'm probably not closing the office like for like another like hour. Like I'll be live. Like we're live for like another 10 minutes. and I'm not shutting down the DMs for like another 2 hours at best, like 2 hours at best, actually. And I don't know what Taco's schedule is for tonight. I mean, it's championship weekend. It's fancy ass. The DMs are fucking open, bro. Like the DMs are open.
Shit,
So,
even just at me in a thread, and we get down that way too. I don't really care. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like if you literally, because like I got
like,
you.
oh, this guy just got hurt. What do you think about blah blah blah? Or you see like the trend line.
I'll answer a fantasy question anywhere, bro. I don't care.
Especially championship weekend. Like,
yeah, championship weekend. You got yeah, you got to be putting in OT. So didn't say I did drop T-Laws. Okay, so yeah, for Flacco or Baker, would you start them over Fields versus the Cards this week? I would not start them over Fields over the Cards. I would want to have a competitive advantage of making sure that my opponent or opponents, whether it's this round or heading into the next round, I don't want them to even think about having, especially with the Flacco situation when it comes to between the Flacco and the Baker. First off, Baker's a baller. Baker could easily retain that Bucks job. Second off, I don't want my opponent having Flacco whatsoever. I do not want my opponent having Joe Flacco. And then to Adam's situation, I definitely do not want my opponent having Brownie. Brownie scares me just a tad bit more than Flacco. I do not want my opponent having Brownie. And then Adam also says, I also have Keenan and Chase probably out. It's going downhill. Then I definitely don't want my opponent having Brownie. If my receivers are out and I'm about to just start whoever the fuck, then nah. Yo, Matt, who's a Rumboyz premium member. Yes, we are also streaming on Rumboyz. Give us a like and a subscribe over there as well. Your boy 1C prepping for this week, baby.
Hey.
Give me Tyreek back, please. From what I know, this is from what I hate saying for like what I know, because like I know there's people that do the same things that we do that don't know the things that I know. So like I hate saying it because then they're like, well, what do you know? And I'm like, you know this person? Like I'm like, they'll DM me. I'm like, you know this person? I'm like, oh, and I'm like, yeah. Like, well, why did you get that, motherfucker? I'm ill. And also I just be DMing people. I'm gonna be honest. Like, hey, yo, we're at the end of the season. I'll go ahead and reveal my secret. Robbie just be diving in people's inbox. Robbie just be diving in people's DMs. Agents, publicists. I don't give a fuck. Like, I will find you. And I have no problems messaging you. So with that being said, from what I know, and Hill's not trying to make it like a big surprise, Tyreek will be back for you.
Oh, please.
And then right when I say that, Adam says, I hope Tyreek is out. Fuck. Damn. See, that's the crazy thing about Taco. Hey, analyst life.
Bro, you know what's crazy is like
everyone.
I had him in best ball last week on a lineup that had Keenan Allen and all these other guys, and I'm like, I lost that whole team. Now I'm like, I hope he's out for a while. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
George, I don't know. Playing against Drop the Mic this week. I hope you beat the dog shit out of Drop the Mic this week. Please whoop that man's ass. Please. Smacking an ass. Could also use Jacobs back. I don't have any news on that situation whatsoever.
Actually, I'm really cool with Zamir White. That man was low key heavily for me.
Zamir White was going off. I was like, damn.
He outscored Pollard, Derrick Henry, and I think Alvin Kamara. Bro, I had one lineup with like Chandler and Zamir White just putting in work.
Bro, Zamir White went off. Damn you. Adam, if I beat a playoff team, or if I beat a playoff team, Okay, not this year. If I beat a team that had Tyreek during the regular season, you can beat that team during the playoffs. Is what I meant to say. All of a sudden, Waddle was good. I waited 15 weeks too late. I've been trying to tell you to get rid of Waddle. Cooper Kupp wants an apology from everyone. I'm starting him too. Cooper Kupp's not getting an apology from me. A real life apology, like if anything I ever said hurt his feelings. Cooper Kupp's not getting a fantasy football apology from me. Fuck that. I refuse. I apologize that he got hurt. I'm glad that he recovered. I'm not doing that. Is Chandler a must start if Madison sits? Yes.
After what we just saw, yes.
Mike has Tyreek. Oh my god. Yo, I love how I drop news really quick. If y'all, just so y'all know, when y'all see that shit get reported Thursday, because it's probably gonna be Thursday that it'll be announced. If it gets announced tomorrow, I'd be shocked. But it'll probably be Thursday that Tyreek is officially back. Just know that you heard it here first, and just know it's I'm probably gonna follow this guy. So I'm playing someone 2-0 again against in the regular season now. Watch some crazy shit happen. I have had that happen. But I've also had the opposite happen. So, I mean, who knows? It's a 50-50 fucking shot, bro. History says it's in your favor. So
there's times when you have literally the best guys in and you lose the dog shit. You know why? Because it's any given Sunday to the real.
Have Warren. You're not starting Warren. You're not starting Warren no more. We're out. Yeah. As the biggest shareholder of the Jalen Warren fan club committee, I'm letting you know that we're out. I'm letting you know now. Damn, that kind of hurt my feelings to say out loud. This is what happens when you keep it real with your followers. Internally, you die a little bit inside because, Jalen Warren, I'm such a fan. Please.
Listen, man.
Maybe it's how those teenagers felt during the Justin Bieber era.
This is much like stock trading. You know what? Listen, long term, I mean, for right now, I'm out. Down the road, he'll be a thing. He might surface somewhere else. He might surface here. But for right now, we're out.
Beliefs. You have news reporters and OnlyFans models on your phone. He's not wrong about either of those things.
Some are both.
Both. Has back-to-back 27-point games, Robbie. Stop it. Yeah, back-to-back games. What did he do during a fucking 4-week stretch for you?
He was getting back into shape.
6 points a piece at a time.
That's all it takes.
That was mean. That was Cup. Let's sit down. Let's talk. Let's have an interview. And there is no such thing as peace out Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua is the future. See, all right. You know what, Cup? I take everything that I said. Puka, let's sit down. Let's talk. Waller coming back from championship team, Habibi. And Waller is just not a thing. Hell no. Taco, any final words in the last 30 seconds?
I just have to say
30 seconds. You said for 16. Talk, motherfucker.
Jets. Go. Let's go, Sam Howell. Let's go, Washington. Terry McLaurin. Sam Howell. Let's put it up. Let's do it.
I haven't had my full I feel that. I haven't had my full lineup once at all. But you know what? What happens is that we win prize money. Speaking of prize money, make sure you guys follow Taco and I's journey towards $3 million.
It's live.
Every time I think about it, it's one of those things that's in the back of my head. But every time I think about it, holy shit, we have a legitimate shot. Yeah. We have a legitimate shot at $3 million.
We literally have CMC.
Yeah, I shit myself a little bit. Like,
And can I just say, we're one of those stupid fools that have T. Higgins still alive. Still alive with T. Higgins.
For all this, this was for all the social media best ball bros, baby. Let's go.
Oh low key, I don't even know, bro. And I just want to say, we did that team live.
Mark Andrews back week 17 is something I didn't know. I will be reporting on that. Let me keep you posted on that, Matt. That's why you have Rumboyz Premium. Just win, baby. Money comes back to the channel, baby. Money always comes back to the channel. You already know. Hey, we're gonna end it with this comment.
I'm coming in.
Dilly. Cheers to me. Cheers to you. Big Guy Fantasy Sports, Rumboyz Fantasy Network. What it do? Follow us on Twitch. Follow us on YouTube.
Preaching on the yeah.